Hi, my name is Tesla. I am going to go over my 2022 financial goals and see if I hit them and what changed along the way, and if things changed, why they did. My dog decided to sit on my lap for my intro, so you can see him in the beginning instead of the end. Okay. I did say that if I was on camera again, I would show you my new piercing. There she is. I wish it was like higher up on my ear instead of like in the middle, but I'm trying not to regret it too much, but I did that. That's new. So I just completely moved my camera. I don't think I will be able to say all of the numbers correctly without looking at my laptop in front of me, and my laptop doesn't have a camera, so I hope that's not like making this pointless. But anyway, I'm glad that I made a 2022 financial intentions video because I referenced it many times throughout the year, and I will be referencing it along with some other Google Sheets right now. So looking back, I already see ways that I could have improved my plans. So for example, I shared my December 2021 net worth, liabilities, and assets, but then for my income, I used my projected 2022 income instead of what I made in 2021. So I don't know why I got those years mixed up. But anyway, as of December 21st, 2021, my assets were $53,365. My liabilities were at negative $81,705. And so my net worth was negative $27,340. Now at this time, I had forgotten to include my house because my house doesn't feel like an asset to me. But if I had, then my net worth would have more accurately been $92,659. As of December 2022, my assets were $78,088. Negative $84,827 in liabilities, and that is because I decided to stop paying off my credit card because it was interest-free. And I was like, I'll just pay it all off once my interest-free period ends. So I've been setting the money aside, but that's why my liabilities went up. And then in February, I refinanced my house to get a lower interest rate, and that also causes your mortgage to go up. Despite my liabilities going up, I still got an increased net worth. So my net worth at the end of December 2022 was negative $6,739, or if you added my house, that is $113,260. So I don't set net worth goals. I don't feel comfortable doing it because I don't want to disappoint myself. I keep forgetting where I'm supposed to look. I don't want to do it because I don't want to disappoint myself. If the market is going down, I can't predict that stuff. So, but this is a net worth increase of about $20,600. And to me, that is a lot in just 12 months. So that's pretty cool. If you want to see the specific details of how much I have in each type of account, just let me know and I will walk you through my net worth spreadsheet. It is the same one created by Gen Z Finance, and she just posted a net worth walkthrough video, and mine would be similar because we're using the exact same thing. So in 2022, I thought I would make $55,223, and of that, I thought I would invest about 21% at $11,580 net, or $15,180 total. And then I thought I would save 13% of my income at about $7,400. That number is off. That is not the number I should have been reaching for. I correct myself later when we get into my sinking funds. And I thought I would spend about 66% of my income at $36,207. So these projections were based off of net numbers, but that's not really how I track it in YNAB. I go by the total amount. And trying to compare net to total and all those differences all the time would just be a lot and kind of exhausting. So these actual numbers are just based on the totals. So in reality, I made $65,837.66, and I based all my 2023 goals off of the total income because counting the differences between net projections and total projections and keeping that all on track, that would just be it would be a big pain. So I invested $17,020.28, and that is about 25.85 or 26% of my total income. I saved almost 10% of my income because I kept $6,385.27 at the end of the year. And I spent about 64% of my income because I spent $42,067.61. So I am about to break down those details, but this is the overview, and I will start off with looking at income. So this income summary will tell me how much I made per month, so basically what I estimated versus the actual and then the difference. But what's actually interesting is this chart here, because it compares how much I made versus how much I saved and how much I invested. And what's weird is I don't see any major correlation. Like, you would think that the more I made, that the more I would have saved or invested that month, but I don't see any major pattern here. But anyway, I am glad that I went past my income projection and income goal, because I made more in 2022, I think, than I have in any other year. And then on top of that, I got a 7% raise, which didn't feel like a lot because of inflation, but hopefully I continue getting raises and continue raising my income, and the universe already knows that I want a minimum salary of $70,000 by the end of the year, so hopefully she is working with me. This spreadsheet is not something that I use and update on a monthly basis. I just configured some data in here because I wanted to have a prettier 2022 review. I like how it just came with like these automatic fun facts. Like, I could pull this from YNAB, but I wouldn't really think to like look at this stuff. So my highest earning month was September, and that is because I got stuck in high waters in my car, and then I flooded my engine and I totaled my car, and my insurance paid me out to buy a new car. But I was able to buy a used car for cheaper than what they gave me, so I counted that difference as income. And then surprisingly, I saved the most money in April. And then when I checked YNAB, it told me I saved like 69% of my paycheck that month, and I would not have guessed that. No surprise that October was my highest spending month because of travel and then some other troubles that month. And then it automatically calculated my top 5 spending categories, and everything except dining out was considered a basic expense, like a necessary expense. The only thing that's odd is I spent over $3,000 on dining out. So that is gas station snacks, fast food, restaurants, and I really got to cut back on that in 2023. But it's good to face the music. I like this pie chart here for an overall where your money went, because YNAB does not include savings or sinking funds or anything in any part of its data, and I just like seeing how it's a part of my total income. On to investing, which is where all of the actual fun is. I wanted to be aggressive and consistent even when things got difficult, and I think it's fair to say that I was. For the first time ever, I wanted to max out my Roth IRA, and for 2022, that was $6,000. And not only did I do that, I finished in June, so 6 months early. And then I wanted to invest for the first time enough in my 401k to get the match. And I did that right on time, even though they started me off like 2 months later than they said they would. So that put me behind, but I caught up. And then from there, I invested in after-tax brokerages. So I dabbled very little bit in crypto, mostly in ETFs and index funds, and then I used Fundrise for property development. So I invested $1,840.28 more than I expected, and I had never seriously invested before. I read a lot of books, I watched a lot of YouTube channels, and I consumed financial podcasts because I didn't have financial literacy growing up, so I just had to teach myself along the way, and I'm glad that I didn't let fear stop me, because I definitely know people who are afraid to invest, my friends and my family, and like, fair enough, I guess. But from investing $1,000 a year to like $17,000 a year, that's a really big jump, and especially during a time when the markets have been going down. For me, I consider that a good thing because I have a 30-year investment timeline, so I guess it's safe to say that I hit all 3 investment goals, because I had an overall goal, I had a Roth IRA goal, and I had a 401k goal, and I did all of them. So cool. This sheet also has a debt repayment section, but the thing is, YNAB doesn't tell me how much I paid off in debt. So there's an assigned column and an activity column, but I never know which one to put in the sheet. And then it's not in any YNAB reports, so there's no way for me to cross-reference anything. Plus, my debt went up anyway, so I'm just gonna skip this whole section. In 2022, I spent $42,067. It looks a little bit less here because it doesn't include my yoga membership, because it's simply subtracted from my sinking funds. But I am not surprised that I am over, because I had to take on the full expenses of my house because I no longer had a roommate for like 6 months. And then one thing to think about is that percentage-wise, I actually did do a little better, because I expected to spend about 66% of my income, and I only spent about 64%. And a lot of financial experts will tell you to like spend 70 and save 30. So I am within that realm, and I am doing a little bit better than that. So I guess if you wanted to base it off percentage, then I could count that as like a goal that I hit, but just by simple math, I went way over on my spending by $5,860. That is not a small amount. I am going to be kind with myself because I don't feel like I had accurate data about my yearly spending before this year. But if we start to look at the details of my spending, then clearly my basic expenses blew my lifestyle expenses out of the water, just like it should be. So on average for basic expenses, I spent $2,499.40 per month, or for a total of $29,992.78. And then for all of lifestyle expenses, including some things I had to take out of savings for a lifestyle expense, like my yoga membership, my YNAB membership. So my full average per month on lifestyle expenses is $1,600.23. One thing you have seen plenty of times is my budget versus actual dashboard, and this is the annual view, but I am actually not going to use this because this is only Q3 and Q4 and not the entire year. By the end of 2023, I will have this full dashboard and then I can reference it. I'll go over what I spent in total for each category and the averages, and then because this video is already too long, I am going to talk about my best and worst purchases of 2022 in a separate video. I'm going to be rounding these numbers off because I do not want to read all of these cents. So for groceries, I spent a total of $2,058, which is an average of $171 per month. So for transportation, I spent $5,534, an average of $461 a month. It is so expensive to own a car if you do not have city sprawl and if you know how to ride a bike and if you can actually get places without a car. I would recommend that. For personal care, I spent a total of $428. This is toiletries, shampoos, medicines, anything like that. And that was an average of $36 a month. And then for home care, which is expensive, now mostly in home care, it's things like appliances, repairs, paper towels, light bulbs, stuff you need for the house. But I didn't really separate home decorations, or just basically if it went in my house, it went in this category. So it's a mix of like mostly necessities, but like some wants as well. And so that was an average of $428 a month. That included any cleanings I got for my house as well. So like that bumped up that number. For pet care, I spent a total of $1,411, or an average of $118 per month. So this is food, bathings, groomings, vet appointments, sweaters, anything regarding Chip. Bills is self-explanatory. Actually doesn't look crazy high. So I spent $15,429, which somehow ends up being $1,286 per month. I must have had, you know why it's lower? Because when you refinance, they give you a month off free. So that's why it's lower. Nice. For dining out, I spent $3,065, and that was an average of $255 a month. I'm not proud of this. I wish I had put that towards other better things, but I don't regret all the meals I have eating out. I like going out to eat. That's how I like to spend time with people. But there was a lot of McDonald's and Wingstop and Taco Bell in here, and not all of those purchases needed to happen. Appearance, which is makeup, clothes, shoes, getting my face threaded, like anything hair related, anything that has to do with how I actually look. That was a total of $1,564, or an average of $130 per month, which is actually a little higher than I thought it would be, but I'm not mad at that. Fun money, which I hope is higher up in my 2023 year, is $1,738, which is $145 per month. And that's because I have bought some bigger ticket items like Hadestown. That was like a $300 ticket. Paramore ticket was like $200+. So it's not like I'm actually spending that much every month. I just choose to do things that are a little more expensive sometimes, like the Renaissance Fair or traveling. Giving definitely surprised me because I wouldn't consider myself to be like the most generous person, but I gave away $1,664, or an average of $139 per month. So this does include Christmas, and in December was $500 of that. We'll see if I'm able to contribute as much this year. Lending. I lend people money. Sometimes they just need gas money. Sometimes they need food money. They want to buy something. They can't afford it at the time. So I put it on my credit card. It's supposed to even out at the end of the year, but multiple people still owe me $928, which is an average of helping people out by $77 a month. And I know what you're thinking. Just let it go. Just be prepared that when you lend people money, they're not going to pay you back. I agree. I know that. I agree. But I want it back. I want it back so bad. That's a lot of money to be lending out to people. I spent more on that than subscriptions. Subscriptions was $739. It does not include my yoga membership because that's taking out of my sinking fund, and it didn't repeat. The way I have YNAB set up, it didn't end up repeating in my expenses, but it would be more if that were in here. But I've got YNAB, Notion, Storage, Pandora. At the beginning of the year, I was really happy to do carbon offsetting, which is just to make myself net neutral at the end of every month. But then I had less cash flow and it was $45, so I stopped doing it. If I ever have more cash flow, I definitely want to get back into doing that. Miscellaneous stuff. Miscellaneous stuff. I'll have to go through and see what all my miscellaneous purchases were to see what I considered miscellaneous. But I spent $692 on miscellaneous things, or $58 per month. And then adventures includes things like Renaissance Fair, traveling out of town. If I were to take a 3-day trip or something, even if it's not a huge trip, that would fall under adventures as well. So I spent $784, and that was 65 cents per month. It would have been higher, but when I went to see When We Were Young in Vegas, the day that I went for got canceled and I got refunded. If I hadn't been refunded and if I had actually been able to see all of the bands, it would probably be double this amount. Maybe not double. How much did I get refunded? $400 is how much the tickets were, and that's how much I got refunded for. So it would be $400 higher. So I actually wish this number was higher because I wish that had worked out for me, but it's okay. It's okay. On to sinking funds. You can see the original goals that I set at the beginning of 2022 that match my original PowerPoint. I had high, medium, and low priority goals. The low priority goals were grayed out because I did not expect to contribute to them, and that would have been Christmas, technology, and beauty treatments. They were just stretch goals. However, some goals definitely changed along the way. I decided to prioritize Christmas after all, and then I got rid of my master's degree and down payment funds, and I moved that money primarily into emergencies and my month ahead fund. And then I had upped my membership goals to include more than just yoga. And as I thought through it, I realized Christmas and memberships actually should have always been zero because that's how much I expected to have at the end of the year. So I also should not have expected vacations to go up, because if I went on vacation, how would I make up for that vacation plus extra? So if I just obviously wasn't thinking through spending through these funds. If I actually believed that I could save up for all my funds in 1 year, replenish it, and then have the same amount by the end of the year or more, that would mean I would have to save an extra $731,041 on top of the $6,385 that I saved, on top of the $17,020 that I invested. That was not doable, and that was not even going off the correct assumptions. So I've learned my lessons. I took those factors into account for 2023. The important thing is that I tried to just put myself out there. I only wanted to explain all of that so you didn't look back at my original video and say that I didn't meet my goals because I was going off totally different metrics. That's why I have this updated column right here with the correct numbers. That they also include my updates along the way of getting rid of my funds and such. I also noticed some funds were just overfunded, like major repairs, I shrunk it down a little. Technology, I shrunk down a little, things like that. So with my correct math and updated goals, by the end of the year, I should have had a total of $38,069.97 in savings, but I actually had $38,490.25. So the difference between that is I saved $420 more than I thought I would. I saved a total of $6,385.27. I can see my contributions and withdrawals per month with this chart. I also have another spreadsheet that will tell me all the details per fund and show me the details of any particular fund. It's a lot of spreadsheets. I know, I can't help it. I just like data and double checking things. So given that I spent more than I wanted to because of my living situation, and there were months where I was just completely negative, like I am really surprised that I hit my correct savings goal and then even surpassed it. Regardless of the journey, like these are my end numbers and I am counting all of these as a win. And if you had asked me a couple of years ago when I was super stingy, I was always a hermit trying to save every penny, that if I could go out, have fun, have an out-of-state vacation and still save money, like I would have told you that I could not have done it. And I did used to make way less money than I make now, like half of what I make now or less than that. But I am just really surprised by this number. If I had had a roommate the entire year, I would not be surprised. I'd be like, of course I accomplished my goals. But living alone almost half the year, I'm pretty happy with myself. And I know I can't save this much next year, and that's okay. But 2022 did turn out okay despite all of the rough moments. If I counted each of these as their own goal, and I'm counting Christmas and memberships even though it's 0 because I did have to save up for them to spend from them, that is basically 11 goals that I hit. Can you imagine if I hadn't gotten ticketed and towed in like October? I'd be $800 over savings instead of just $400. But it's okay. I'm gonna stop talking about getting ticketed and towed. I'm letting it go. That's my 2023 resolution, letting it go. So time for the final goal tally. Keep forgetting where to look. If you count making more income than I thought I would as its own goal, and then my 3 investment goals, and then my updated sinking fund goals, which was 11, that is like 15 goals I hit this year. Or if you just want to boil it down to income, saving, investing, and then spending. Or if you just want to boil it down to saving, investing, spending, and income, then that's only 3 out of 4 goals. But I still think that's pretty good. I think I can be a little proud of myself. Hopefully 2023 works out just as well as 2022. But now that we know what the tally is and what the numbers are, like what did I actually learn from this year? Like aside from money, what else am I going to take away from this experience of doing the risky thing of sharing my private details online? So first of all, I have always been pretty good at saving. I've always been a penny pincher. I tried a lot of different budgeting apps and sheets, but none of them were ever, I didn't keep up with them, so they weren't accurate and they weren't reliable, and because they weren't reliable, they didn't impact my routine. So I didn't really need an app to help me how to save. I needed an app that let me feel comfortable spending, and even spending alone required like a mindset shift. So I can't say it's all due to YNAB because it's just a tool and everything, you get what you put in, you know, like with anything. So I think for the most part, it was actually the accountability of sharing with you all. Goal sharing in itself has felt pretty powerful because it kept me motivated. Especially seeing everybody else who is on the same path and trying out their own thing. I appreciate everybody else like sharing their experience as well. And so I think it's a reminder for me that community is important, because if I had just been nerding out by myself, I might not have consistently posted and I wouldn't have like 45 videos published in 1 year. So I also feel like I see more budgeting channels pop up like every day, and I can't wait to watch them and continue sharing my journey alongside them. But along with the mindset shift, I just needed to learn that I have to have more goals than just financial goals. I had one personal goal to read 50 books and I got pretty close, and then I decided not to actually complete it because I didn't want to push myself to read if I didn't feel like it, because I want to make sure that I'm always enjoying it. But that's why it was so disappointing if I had a bad month, because if my finances didn't go well, I had no other way to measure myself and measure my progress. And so I just learned that my goals, they need to be diverse and they need to cover different aspects of my life, because I can't just let one thing consume all my thoughts or determine how I feel about the whole of my life, you know? For 2023, I definitely adjusted, and I have way more goals than just finance goals. I shouldn't say way more, an appropriate amount. And then lastly, and most importantly, I would say I learned the value of having fun, and there's just a lot more for me to gain when I have that balance between spending and saving. There were definitely times when I dipped more into the spending side, but it's a learning process. I used to be someone who always said no. I would always say I can't afford anything. And then of course people stopped trying to hang out with me. And I didn't even know anyone when I moved here. And you know what's not a great way to make friends in a big city is just to commute to work and then commute home and then completely isolate yourself. So I wanted to change that in 2022 and I did. I'm going to do a video about my best and worst purchases of 2022, but I went to an event of some sort every single month. So I referenced my calendar and my calendar might be missing a few things, but at the least, I went to 6 movies, 7 comedy shows, somehow only 1 play, 3 musical, 5 concerts, and some local and family events. And then I took a grown-up vacation for the first time in my life in Vegas. So I wish I had also kept track of how many new restaurants I tried, but I was able to do all of that and I still invested and I still saved. And now I have good memories to look on back to like when things get hard, because I used to feel like I was just sacrificing all the time and then it was just for nothing. So I want to continue getting out there in 2023, but I think 2022 was a really good start. Well, this was long and it's over, so you're free to go. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions, video requests, or you just want to let me know how your 2022 went, whether it was by financial means or like any other metric you want to measure it by. Okay, bye.